Hi everyone, I'm Mani Sundar and welcome to Book Chats, where, as you guessed it, we are chatting about books. Today I'm going to be singing the praises of uplifting fiction, or Uplit for short. Uplit is sort of the older but wiser cousin of what some people call gentle reads, those books that have very little profanity, explicit sex or violence, and that promote sense of well-being and nostalgia for the good old days. Gentle reads usually have a bit of timeless feel to them, homespun humor, colorful characters, and overall a peaceful, easy feeling, a sense that everything will end well. Uplit has a similar heartwarming tone, but with a bit of contemporary, not all perfect edge. So you may have mentions of lost jobs or spouses, and will often feature some cosmopolitan settings, older characters with more life experience, maybe some characters that you can describe as curmudgeons, but still, of course, lovable ones, and humor that is a bit more snarky than homespun. It's people who may have been knocked down a bit, but who keep getting back up, and maybe along the way realize that while life is far from perfect, they're not alone in it, and are able to form deep connections with others. And who wouldn't be moved by something like that? Our first title is Anxious People by Swedish author Fredrik Backman. He's the author of A Man Called Away. Yes, that's an awesome uplit read. This title is about a group of strangers, ranging from two married couples at different stages of life, a plucky octogenarian and a wealthy woman seeking redemption, who are thrown together when they're held hostage at an open house by possibly the world's most inept bank robber. With nowhere else to go, they begin to reluctantly open up to each other and realize that to some extent they are all seeking the same thing, a place to belong and some measure of certainty in an uncertain world. The story of hostages is cut back and forth, with the investigation by the father and son police officers handling the case, who, of course, have their own problems. Our cast of characters are grappling with some heavy topics that somewhat rightfully make them anxious, including depression, grief, parental guilt, and job loss. But Bachman handles it all with a deft touch, and a lovable cast of oddballs inspires some real laugh out loud moments, and also maybe some cringe of recognition as the reader's own insecurities are reflected back. This book truly turns on an emotional dime, and you'll go from chuckling to yourself at some clever turn of phrase to gasping at an unexpected plot twist, or nodding your head as Bachman drops some cleverly phrased universal truth. And of course, like all great works, you will then want to share it with others, which is fitting for a book that's all about human connection. Next, we have Professor Chandra Follows His Bliss by Rajiv Balasubramanian. Our title character is an internationally renowned economist with an eye on the prize, the Nobel that is, that he has once again failed to win. His focus on his career has cost him his marriage, his relationship with his three kids, and now possibly his health. He's advised by a doctor to follow your bliss, man, and after essentially being ordered to take a sabbatical from work, he finds himself somewhat dubiously attending a therapeutic meditation retreat. What starts as an activity largely done on sufferance grows into something more as he makes steps to rebuild his relationship with his kids, work through some of his feelings of anger and resentment, and learn that not having all the answers and occasionally just stopping and letting the world go by is okay. Chandra is a wonderful character, academically brilliant but emotionally clueless. He's at times fastidious and sarcastic. Okay, maybe a lot of times. But this is largely covered for deep feelings of loneliness and a sense of failure, both professional and personal. You'll absolutely be rooting for this recovering fuddy duddy to succeed in his quest for inner peace and enlightenment. Next, we have The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. Tiffy works days and is in desperate need of a new place to live after a bad breakup. Leon works nights and is in desperate need of some extra cash to help pay for a lawyer for his brother who has wrongly been imprisoned. The solution is perfect. They'll simply alternate occupancy of their flat, that is British speak for apartment. To keep things from getting awkward, strict boundaries are put in place and rules about comings and goings. But when their post it note communication goes from I drank the last of the milk to heartfelt confessions about hopes, dreams, heartbreaks, and little inside jokes, it gets complicated. Falling for your best friend is one thing, but is it possible to fall in love with someone you have never met? This is a slow, sweet romance with gentle humor, a charming supporting cast, and absolutely perfect character voices, told in alternating point of view between Tiffy and Leon, largely through their nose to each other. You will absolutely hear both in your head. A particularly noteworthy character beat is the fact that Leon is a hospice nurse and is more nurturing and romantic of the two. The additional subplot of him trying to find the most lost love of one of his patients will totally make you melt. Let's hear it for more romance novels that tackle gentle stereotypes and toxic masculinity. This book essentially boils down to two incredibly good hearted and well meaning people who deserve all the happy things in the world, finding home together despite their doubts. You'll finish it with a smile on your face and a sigh of bliss as you turn the last page. Sounds like a pretty good example of uplifting to me. Next, we have The Gunkle by Stephen Rowley. Former actor Patrick delights in his role of the fun gunkle or gay uncle. To his beloved niece and nephew, Macy and Grant, are the nibblings, as he calls them. But short visits to his home in Palm Springs isn't the same thing as parenting with all those rules about bedtimes and vegetable eating and such. Parent he must, though, as he is taken in the kids following the death of their mom, who is, in addition to being his sister in law, was also Patrick's best friend, and their father needing some time away to process. It's an adjustment for all parties to be sure, but after some rough beginnings, they manage to bring out the best of each other. Macy and Grant lean on their uncle to help them work through their grief, and Patrick is somewhat shocked to find that in his role of de facto parent and therapist, it's kind of nice being depended on and for more than just the perfect witty remark. But don't worry, even with all this emotional sharing and caring, there are still plenty of one liners, as Rowley's writing is full of hilarious send ups of Hollywood pretensions. Patrick's ruminations on the perils of being an older gay man in the modern era, and the general love mixed with bewilderment and a bit of fear that being around small children can often inspire. Our final title is The Big Finish by Brooke Fossey, where we are introduced to Duffy Sinclair, 88 years young, and his roommate Carl, who are making every effort to remain on their best behavior to keep their plum spot at the well appointed Centennial Assisted Living Home. When Carl's previously unknown granddaughter Josie shows up drunk and is in desperate need of a place to crash, Duffy and Carl make the impetuous decision to let her stay in their room until she gets back on her feet, even if it could get them kicked out. Mixed in with wacky hijinks, efforts to keep Josie hidden from the wicked residence administrator is a moving story of intergenerational friendship and meditations on lost years and regrets, and the wonders of second chances. This is a great read for those who enjoy older characters who still have plenty of life in them. And with its funny and hopeful tone, well crafted dialogue, and cast of lovable underdogs, it's sure to be a book club best bet. So, you have questions? Ask your friendly librarian through our chat service, email, or telephone reference service. Houston Public Library is here for you. And if you want tips on what to read next, check on our website. You can sign up for a custom book list, and a library staff member will send you a list of titles based on your likes and interests. How cool is that? This has been Book Chats. See you next time. Happy reading, everyone.